Welcome to another edition of the Coach Alexander Show. I'm Kim Assad, Mustang mom, and your local real estate broker with Compass Real Estate. Enjoy the show. Go Mustangs!
Hello, Mustang Nation. Matt Carnes, Grapevine Booster here for the week 3 of the Mike Alexander Show, Team 100 edition. And Coach, again, we've got a lot to talk about. I don't know exactly where we want to start. I'll let you start because there was a lot going on last night at Mustang Panther.
Well, number one, it was just great to be back at home. That was the big topic of all the news outlets that came out to celebrate this event with us. And, it was good. It felt good walking out onto the field. Felt good to, walk out of our locker room out onto the field, not having to pack our bags and all that stuff. Our student body needed that. It was they enjoyed I think they enjoyed the environment of the stadium and all. So it was a great night to be a Mustang. It was one of those wins where it took everybody. It was a team win. Once again, going to halftime down a few points and then kind of right the ship and get everything going in the right direction and finish strong. So it was a good night.
Well, it was fun to see you pre-game while we were out getting things set up. When you walked in yourself, you just had a little bit of a different gait. It's like, I'm home. This feels good. I walked out of my office and get to go coach.
It's exciting. The funny thing was, a few of our coaches that joined our staff, last year, and coached on the Team 99 season, they were asking right before the game, what do we do at halftime? And I thought, that's a good question, because it'd been so long since we, okay, so here's how we do it. We just go back to the locker room. The defense gets this office. The offense gets this area, so we hadn't even had to talk about that because it was never an issue last year.
Well, it's good to be home, and it was good to see all the people show up. The stadium was a great night. But before we get into the actual part of the game, let's talk about the freshman, the JV team, because this was a clean sweep all the way through.
It was a great week to be a Mustang for sure. Starting with our freshmen, played at home. That was their first time to play at Mustang Panther probably since they were, in middle school. They played that one game there a year. So that was exciting for them and get to play in front of their own students. And they played really well. Freshman blue team and freshman red team led from start to finish and were in complete control of those games. JV went on the road. JV blue won 28-6. And then, man, the JV red game, it was a defensive slugfest. Both defenses played extremely well. And we squeaked by with a 3-point victory, 3-0. So it was exciting.
And the part you can't overlook is that we stopped them on 4th down inside the 5-yard line. So
that was huge.
It was a close one, but it was a great game. So we swept it all the way through. Then we go to Thursday, Breakfast of Champions. Had a big showing as always. Keith Davis came out, and as always, Breakfast of Champions, speaker delivers.
Man, I love that guy. That was his 3rd year in a row that we've had Keith in our field house, and we always have great speakers. But quite frankly, I don't remember details about everybody's talk from 3 years ago. But that's one that I remember.
I do too.
I remember it vividly. 3 years ago he talked about fill the gap. And it's funny because there's just certain things, certain people have that delivery, and he does, and so we're blessed to. I said it before. We're blessed in Grapevine to be around in an area where we're surrounded by such amazing people that will come in and share their experiences with the team.
Well, and he had fill the gap, get it back, and this year was over the top.
Yeah.
But what's even more impressive to me is that at a high school football level, for the second week, you've had a man come in with credibility and delivery and talk to the boys about things above and beyond football and life.
Right.
How to treat the girls you're meeting.
Right.
How to be a gentleman. And I don't know how many high school teams around this state are getting that kind of influence. But to me, that may be one of the most important things going on in the Mustang program.
We're blessed, there's no doubt.
So that was fun. The other part of his delivery you can't forget is everybody says it, and by the end of that show, over the top was ringing through the Mustang locker room. So Keith, thanks for coming out on that. So we get into the field, we got the new stadium, and big crowd showed up, a lot of energy. And the game gets rolling, and let's talk about the game. I mean, it was.
Well, but before we do that, and I do want to talk about the game, but I want to give a special shout out to James Reese, our new band director. You know, he and I spoke before the season started, and he wanted to change up how we do pregame, and he wanted his kids on the field and wants them to be more of an instrumental part of the game, and I felt it last night. You know, I loved having them down there when we ran out of the tunnel and play the national anthem toward our crowd. That was really special, and he's doing a phenomenal job. And the band, the Spirit Rustlers, the cheerleaders, the student body, the team felt the support last night, and it was a true community win there.
It was definitely fun. There was no shortage of activity and energy in the stadium last night. So with that, let's get to the game. It started off with them having a pretty decent drive.
Yeah, I think it was 15 plays. It was long. They burned up the first half of the first quarter until they'll get that turnover. Yeah.
On the field.
You know, golly, we got pushed around a little bit early defensively there, and our kids just really, you know, once they got in the red zone, kind of bowed up and made a great play on a pass play on third down to prevent the drive from continuing. And then they bobbled the snap. We tackled the holder and get out of there unscathed, you know, fortunately. And then obviously 2 plays later, Caleb Tejada is getting his picture taken with Mr. Brewer and celebrating the first touchdown in the new stadium.
If you haven't seen it, you need to look it up. Kenny Brewer scored the first touchdown in Mustang Panther Stadium back in 1969. Caleb Tejada last night scored the first one for Team 100 in the new stadium, and they got a picture together. You need to go look it up. It's really a neat picture. So, and that's another thing we almost neglected is Team 50 got to come back last night.
That's right.
So they were in the house as well, and it was great to have them back as well. So then the game gets rolling on. You got the 7-0 lead. Then you get the safety.
Mm-hmm. Man, well, you never know what contributes to that stuff, but we did change up our punt pressure this week, and we took off our defensive linemen, and we inserted three extra defensive backs just to want to create more speed up there and put some pressure on their protection team. And you know, who knows if that had anything to do with the bad snap, but I know that my philosophy on pressure and punts is, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of time setting up returns. We don't really worry about it a whole lot because, you know, we all watch the NFL games. When do all penalties happen? In the kicking game. Kickoff returns, punt returns, everybody's holding, trying to block their guy that's running full speed down the field. So we honestly don't mess with it a whole lot. When the other team's punt does, I'm going to try and go get it, and we're going to put pressure on the punt just to try and affect the kick. And first one sailed right over his head. We're able to get on it in the end zone, or get on him and get the safety. And so, you know, game starting off good. It's 9-0, you know, and about halfway through the first quarter.
9-0 at the end of the first quarter. Mm-hmm. And then they scored a couple of touchdowns. So you go to halftime down 14-12. Mm-hmm. And again, Grapevine Mustangs win the halftime speech. So good job on whatever you delivered there.
Guys, I'm telling you, there's nothing magical. I mean, you know, there's really nothing magical. I will say that our whole focus in, you know, pregame speech and halftime speech was all about our DNA. Because we felt like a week ago in Abilene, we weren't our true selves. You know, I felt like we were a team that I didn't know, and we performed like that. And so we made a concerted effort this week to get back to who we said we wanted to be, and what is our DNA. And so we just challenged them with that at pregame and halftime, and they went out and played their tails off.
Well, you come out in the third quarter, Austin gets a touchdown, Braxton gets a field goal, so you're getting control of the game back. Mm-hmm. You got a 22-14 lead. They scored a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You stopped them on the 2-point conversion to hold the lead. Mm-hmm. So you kind of felt a little bit of a momentum shift back in your way after that touchdown. What's going through your head there when the game is back in the third quarter and we're back in a game?
Yeah, you know, I felt like this is what high school football is all about. You know, I mean, they're a well-coached team. They have a good team. You know, this is not going to be easy, and nothing in life that, you know, that's worth having is easy. So we just challenge our guys on the sideline, just keep fighting, you know, just keep fighting. And man, we did that. And man, I was so proud of our offense. They really took over the game in the second half, you know. And so we'll see some of the highlights here in a second. But, you know, I think that's where the game was won. The end of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth, when our offense didn't go 3 and out. You know, they just went in, got first downs and first downs and first downs, and kept their offense off the field. And you know, that's how you win. That's how you win close football games.
And I don't know how many times you got a first down by 1 or 2 yards, but the chains just kept moving, and that was so impressive to see them just save the defense and stay on the field. So that was great. And then of course, Caleb breaks another one, and then kind of puts you in control at 29 to 20. And then of course, Elliott broke that one at the end. And so with that, let's see some highlights here.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to start with the special teams. This is the safety that you've already mentioned. Obviously, you know, we're not setting up for return. We're pressuring this thing pretty good. And, you know, one lesson to be learned here, I think, you know, we want to try and get on this ball. So I'm going to talk to Dylan about, you know, diving, leaving your feet, go get that football right there. And who knows, it might be 6 points instead of 2. But either way, we'll take it. We have Braxton Russell coming out clutch last night. Really proud of Braxton. He knocks through a 30-yarder here. Gave him a chance at a 50, and gave him a chance at a 50-yarder, and kind of had a little mishap with the hold, kind of slowed him up a little bit. He'll make a 50-yarder this year at some point. And then this is probably my favorite play of the night. You know, we've done this unique kickoff style where we've got, you know, we're spread the field and we've been onside, and I knew that the more we tried the onside kicks, it would pay dividends down the road. You notice Northwest has 6 guys right here dedicated to the line of scrimmage, essentially. They have 2 more, you can see the shadows on the 40. So now they have 8 guys within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Well, that bodes really well for us because now we have lots of options in where we want to kick the football. Well, there was a big void right in the middle. We told Braxton, we just want you to just pop it right over the front line, and then we're going to sprint down there and do our best to get on it. And sure enough, it works out just perfect. And look who the first one down is. It's Braxton. He's the one that disrupts them from getting able to get on it. And then our second kicker, J.D. Rice, finishes it up by recovering the football. Big momentum swing right here in the game. Love hands team. I love when we get to put hands team on the field. Our kids know it because it means we're winning the game. And big play by Austin Alexander right here. You know, the big deal here is you got to want the ball and not be afraid to make a play, and so he did that. Defensive highlights. Going to be a lot of really two things. At times we swarmed the ball at the line of scrimmage really well, and then we played pretty good pass coverage with our young secondary. And this was the third down that forced the field goal attempt right there in the first series. Put a little pressure. Get a little break up there in the end zone by Keegan Courtney. You can get a good picture of the end zone shot right here. This is a nice shot that a lot of people don't get to see much of, but it's dirty in there. You know, there's a lot of physicality going on in the box. So everybody should have a lot of respect for those defensive linemen and offensive linemen that are in there battling out. Really proud of Adrian White, sophomore corner. Playing against a really talented receiving core, doing his job all night, staying on top of routes, and really proud of the job that he did. And then this is where we started to feel like we got control of the game more. 3rd and 1, second quarter, Coach Antle calls a nice little blitz here right into the teeth of a run game, and we get a tackle for loss. The next thing, you know, obviously they're going to put the punt team on the field. So great job by Garrett Johnson, good call by Coach Antle. That's the big difference in our game, I think, last night and in the game against McKinney North is we stayed on top of receivers for the most part. We turned one loose late in the game, but at the end of the day, we tackled a lot better this week than what Northwest saw the prior week when they scored 65, and that's a big reason you give up points is missed tackles. And then late, this is the last drive. They're having to, you know, work fast and try and get out of bounds, and that's a good job of getting pressure on the cue while keeping the clock running. Mason Shimkus setting up a little pick play right here for our defensive end. Nick Chevalier getting pressure on the cue, throws it to the sideline. Keegan Courtney tackles him inbounds. Key keeps the clock running. And then I think this is our last defensive highlight. Just staying on top of receivers once again, not giving that quarterback from Northwest any breathing room to complete deep balls. We're going to go into the offensive end. This is second play from scrimmage of the game for our offense. We just run a little power play. This is what we really focused on all week. Run game was going to be key this week for us, and everybody does their job on the first play, and then Caleb finishes it up. Show you the end zone shot. Good kick out block.
Great kick out block.
Yep,
Right here.
that's Raider Conley kicking, boom, then Caleb Tejada up the chute. So great job offensive line doing their thing there. Later on in the first quarter, this is a big catch, third down. I think it's 3rd and 9. Get a 10-yard curl completion to Griff, and then Austin. This, every play we could do this. This is a run play called, but Austin likes the numbers he's got out there with his receivers, and he flicks it out there, and it's plus 12. Great block by Griffin Edwards there too. We've said from the beginning that our quarterback's not the same type of quarterbacks we've had, and at times it helps. This kid right here is going to the University of Washington apparently, and Austin does a good job of eluding him and getting the chains moved, and that's just a benefit when you have a quarterback that's mobile. They don't have to be crazy freakish athletes that are Division I talents, but if they're mobile, they can get you out of a bind. It sure helps your football team, and that's what Austin's been doing for us. Same plays we scored on early, it just gets logged because they clog it up inside. Caleb runs the same play and almost has the same result. I think Caleb finished the night with about 190 yards, and so anytime you have a back rush for that much, your offensive line's doing a good job, and your receivers are blocking well. Ben Garrett does a fantastic job right here. Let's go back to the wide. You're going to see Ben blocking number 23, and smartly, he knows right now he's got him, and he knows right when to let him go so he doesn't get the holding call. And many times, receivers will do that too long and hold on too long, and the ball be coming back. So great job, Ben, on your perimeter blocking. All right, big play right here, 3rd down, 3rd and 7, smash route into the boundary. Griffin from his tight end position makes a fantastic catch, and we move the chains. And this is in the 3rd quarter. This is a big moment in the game. That was a dagger right there. Once again, run game, sees Elijah out there with numbers, gives it to Elijah. Jacob's doing a great job blocking. Elijah smartly goes down before they can rip the ball out. Mustangs keep moving the chains. And then this 4th quarter, Caleb's got good vision. He cuts it back, off to the races.
And a great seal in there from Birmingham.
Absolutely. There's a saying in football, linemen block for first downs and receivers block for touchdowns. And there's a lot of truth to that, because without that block right here, that doesn't happen. That touchdown doesn't happen. So unselfish kids blocking for each other, wanting each other to be successful. And then here comes the closer in the 4th quarter, Elliot Hansen. Man, I'm so proud of Elliot and the job that he's done ever since he's been at Grapevine High School, preparing himself for his senior year, and he had a great night. Another 3rd down. I mean, this is a big play right here. It's 4th quarter. They're trying to get back into it, and I think we're up 1 score. And Austin using his legs to get 17 and move the chains. And then probably the final dagger right there, Elliot Hansen out the chute with some nice blocking from his offensive lineman. This is what we. It's a heavy package for us. We got a lot of big bodies in there. We got Julian Newhouse, number 40, coming in the game. So it was a good night. Good night all the way around.
It was a fun, entertaining ball game, and it was so great to see them just completely take charge in the fourth quarter. And like you say, just keep moving the chains and burn it up. That just shows you and putting your will out there and executing on it. So that was really fun. So congratulations on the big win. Let's talk about the kids on the DNA. You've got some DNA kids. Let's talk about those before we get to the next game.
Attitude. Everything starts off with our attitude. Last night, Scrap was injured, and early in the second quarter, we'll find out how he's doing later today. And we inserted his backup. Backup had some issues, got a personal foul. Felt like I needed to take him off for a little bit of time. Put Keegan Courtney in, and at that position, which he hadn't trained for, and he played his tail off. And the reason we gave him the attitude award is he had the right mentality. When we asked him to do it, he didn't give us, "Oh, I don't know, coach." It was, "We'll get it done," you know. And I love that about him. And so we awarded Keegan with the attitude award. The compete award, Braxton Russell, you know, always ready to compete, doing the little pooch on side and being the first one down, fighting his tail off, and so he continues to perform well for us.
And if I can interrupt you there real quickly, we mentioned last week about what a great kid he is. He's got the Alex's Lemonade stand that he's raising money with his kicks for. I did say last week I was going to sign up, and I have now signed up.
There
so
you go.
I did fulfill that. So good kid there, and need to support Alex's Lemonade stand on behalf of Braxton. So
thanks for reminding us on that. Our tough award went to Elliot Hansen for just steady and his mental and physical toughness that he displays every week. So congratulations to Elliot on that. Our family award went to Nick Kilson. Nick didn't play as much last night because of the nature of the game than he does at times, depending on the scheme that we're seeing. But he was always right there with his teammates, leading by example. A senior, two-year letterman. He's an example to his teammates about no matter if you're on the field or you're not on the field, what your role is. And so super proud of Nick for what he did for our team last night. So he got our family award. Our discipline award went to Derek Romanowski. He graded out the highest in the offensive line. It's hard to grade high on the offensive line. There's a lot of variables, but Derek played a fantastic game, so congratulations, Derek. And then finally, our fight award goes to Austin Alexander. It's two out of our 3 games in the fourth quarter. We needed drives put together to go either come back and win it or to seal it. And he's found ways to make plays in both of those scenarios to allow the Mustangs to be successful. And so it's just an attitude of, no matter what the situation, we're going to fight to go get this done. And we're proud that he's our quarterback right now.
well, he's done good. You said last year he was going to be a little different and that he may not win the foot race, but he's really hard to get a hold of and bring down. And that's certainly been the case so far. So it's been fun to watch. Okay, so we got a week off. In the meantime, we've got the big dove hunt coming, and then we come back in 2 weeks. It's homecoming, early in the season this year. So a couple things you got to be aware of. Homecoming parade is Wednesday night this year. It will be in downtown Grapevine. There will be a post party at the Sonic on Northwest Highway. But tell us about the changes that we've implemented this year.
There's a lot of I get a lot of questions about why are we changing homecoming, and so it's simple. By us doing celebrating homecoming on Wednesday, all of our students on the whole campus are going to be able to participate. In the past, everybody that's involved in a freshman or JV football game, including the cheerleaders, including the bells, they're not able to participate. And so I felt, and we felt as a Booster Club board, that it would be appropriate if we moved it to Wednesday and allowed every student that wants to participate to be able to do that. and I'm excited about it. I think our freshman football players and our JV football players deserve to be able to go be in the homecoming parade.
Absolutely.
And be with their friends. And so I always felt like it was almost a punishment to have to go play out of town while the parade was going on. And so we're not doing that. We're going to let them all participate, and it's going to be great.
So the parade's Wednesday night. Don't forget, be there. Post party at Sonic. Tell them Go Mustangs when you order, and they'll give a part of the proceeds back to the Booster Club, which will be very helpful. So we've got to get everybody there.
Okay.
Talked to Mr. Denning last night. We'll get everybody on board for that, not just the Booster Clubs, but everybody in the school and all the alumni that come back. So that'll be good. And then Friday night, 7 o'clock, Mustang Panther, homecoming. It's the homecoming game, start of district. District game number 1, so the new season starts, so to speak. You got Carrollton Creekview coming in. They're 2-1. Tell us about the homecoming game and who's coming in to play us.
Well, Carrollton Creekview, they're an improving football team. They've improved they improved every year the last couple of years, and they're unconventional offensively. If you go watch Georgia Tech, you go watch Navy play, you're going to see the similar style of offenses as they do, and it'll be a big challenge for us. They'll grind the clock, and they make it hard to get before you get off the field defensively, and so we're going to have a little bit of a different game plan. And I'm actually glad we have an extra week to prepare for it, honestly.
Well, they're 2-1 coming in, but it'll be homecoming game, 7 o'clock, September 27th. Make sure you're there. Anything else you want to add before you take a week off and have 2 weeks for the next game?
I'll just thank you for all your support, and if you're at the game last night, we definitely appreciate it. Our boys felt the energy, and Go Mustangs.
Go Mustangs. We'll see you. Men, don't forget Breakfast of Champion, Friday morning, 9:27, 7 o'clock. Bring enough food for the coaches and everybody. But everybody's been a part of this one. Thank you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks for watching the Coach Alexander Show. For all your real estate needs, you can visit me at compass.com. Go Mustangs!